Hey guys, so today we're going to be looking at a 4-minute guide that covers everything about Draven, and this actually came from me doing an in-depth guide for Draven, and then I realized he's kind of so complicated that the best way of doing this was to have this shorter guide first and then a more advanced one later. For masteries, it's very standard 21-9, but we're going to be using weaving. Now, you're going to be spamming your W a ton in fights to attack quickly, so you'll have your weaving active a lot. Runes, there are kind of two options. You can have a very standard AD reds, armor yellows, attack speed quints, and a mix of attack speed and magic resist blues. I've also been testing out using armor pen reds, and it works really well actually. It makes your farming a little weaker, but your damage against champions better. So for build stuff, Draven is one of the few AD carries who can rush a bloodthirster and make it work. BT is going to give you the same AD, but a huge amount of lifesteal, and lifesteal is so good on Draven because of his Q. Like, the extra damage on your Q does apply lifesteal, and so you end up healing for a ton. Now this is what I do in harder matchups or against low health teams. Like against squishy targets, you don't really need crit to kill them, but you do need the lifesteal to survive their damage. Infinity Edge gives you crit instead of lifesteal, so it's more damage but it's less survivability. Now after your first item, you can either get some attack speed or the other of BT or IE depending on which you got first. So if you get Bloodthirster first, then I'd get Infinity Edge second, but if you get Infinity Edge first and you want more damage, then Phantom Dancer would be better as it gives you some more crit chance. Basically, building attack speed and crit with a Bloodthirster doesn't really make sense because you won't make use of the crit on there. Rounding out your build should be a Last Whisper and then normally a Guardian Angel or maybe a Banshees. Guardian Angel is really good because you have no escape and it completely covers that while also letting you stand there and dish out a huge amount of damage without having to worry about dying. When we go to the lane phase, the first thing to say is if you didn't know, yes, you can actually decide where Draven axes land. As the axe is in the air, you click on the ground and that is where the axe is going to go. So Draven's lane phase is great for two reasons, okay? The first one is his passive. He is under no pressure at all to do anything because he can just farm, stack his passive and then wait for the perfect time to kill someone and cash in on the stacks. Now I'm not kidding when I say that if you spent the entire lane phase farming and then you kill someone at the end, it's about the same as getting 2 or 3 kills. The second thing is his damage and his kill potential. Now if you don't want to just sit there and farm, then you have a butt ton of damage and really good trading. So once you've got them semi-low, you often actually have enough damage to kill them, so just go nuts, especially with your ultimate. You only need a few autos and both parts of that to actually kill someone. So you also want to make sure that you always have 2 axes spinning. Now this obviously does stack your passive quicker because you're throwing your axes out more, but the bigger thing is when you fight. So actually if you have 2 axes spinning, you have the potential for 3 because your Q is off cooldown and ready to be activated. So this means that when you fight and accidentally drop one, you can just instantly press your Q again to get another axe, and this is going to seriously increase your damage output and is why you always kind of want 2 axes spinning plus your Q off cooldown before you fight. Draven's mid game really depends on how well your early game went. Like if you got ahead and if you got your passive stacks and you got the gold from it, then you'll be crapping on everyone. Your ultimate is amazing in team fights. You throw it out into the enemy team and in theory you catch at least like 3 people with both sides of that damage. So there are really 2 ways to play Draven in a team fight, and one is slightly different to normal. The first one is the normal one, the standard AD carry. You stand at the back and because you have your Q on, you're going to rip through tanks pretty easily. Now the second way is pretty situational, but something that I like doing sometimes, and it especially works well if you have a Bloodthirster already. Now unlike other AD carries, you're actually insanely good at killing squishy targets because of your high damage crits and your burst. So this means that if you get a chance, you can dash around the tanks and kill the backline pretty easily. So those are the 2 playstyles for team fights, and apart from those things, remember to spam your W every time you catch an axe to increase your attack speed, and then use your E to peel people away from you. Now that wraps up this guide to Draven, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, leave a like, subscribe, and I'll catch you in my next video.